Welcome to an overview of the Hamilton Award and the Hamilton Empowerment Program. We are excited that you could join us today and look forward to sharing more with you about our program. We have a few objectives for today's lesson, or session, my apologies. The first is just to provide you with a brief overview of the Empowerment Program. What we do at Hamilton Scholars is very comprehensive, and it can be hard to distill it for a promotional flyer or email blast. So we are glad to have this opportunity to discuss it in more detail. Then we are thrilled to highlight two scholars who will be sharing some of their experiences as Hamilton Scholars. The best way to learn about the program is from those who have participated in it. So we really appreciate the time they have given us today. Last, we will have a chance at the end of the session for a brief Q&A to discuss any questions you still have. For the next 20 minutes or so, we will go over AHS's vision and mission, discuss the award itself and explain what receiving the award means, and go over important program elements such as our pillars of success, leader weeks, and program goals. We will close out with a conversation with our current scholars and end with answering your questions. Today's session will be facilitated by me, Cassandra Baddeley, the program manager here at Hamilton Scholars. I am a Black presenting female with curly shoulder-length hair. I have on a black blazer and a pink top and gold hoop earrings and this ever-attractive headset. We are also joined by Elias Olson, our communications and data manager. Elias will be providing live captioning for our webinar today. You can choose to view or hide the captions by clicking on the Show Captions button in your Zoom toolbar. We will be transitioning to automatic captioning while our students speak for the question and answer at the end. The fully captioned presentation, as well as a transcript, will be provided on our website after this live session. Elias, would you like to say a few words and provide a verbal description of yourself?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm so excited to be here with you all and share more about the Hamilton Award. As Cassandra mentioned, I will be providing the live captioning, and I thank you for your grace in advance. Thank you so much.
We are also so happy to be joined by Diya Jha from our most recent cohort. Diya won the Hamilton Award last year and is a senior in high school right now. Later on, we will also be able to hear from Paul Quach, who received the 2021 Hamilton Award. Diya, can you please introduce yourself and provide a verbal description?
Hi, my name is Diya Jha. I'm so excited to be on the call here today and just share my experience with the Hamilton Scholar Program this past year, and excited to talk to you and answer any questions you have. So thank you for having me today.
Thanks again to Diya and Paul for being part of today's session. We will check back in with them in a few minutes. Now I wanted to take a moment to tell you about the mission and vision of AHS. Our mission is what we do: empower high-achieving, underserved young leaders to thrive in college and beyond. Our vision is the impact we strive to have. To one day have a community of ethical leaders who break barriers to build an equitable society. In short, it's not just about the 40 scholars that will travel to New York and participate in the AHS model of youth development. Rather, it is about giving these scholars the necessary tools to succeed so they, in turn, can pass these tools on to their communities and be agents of positive change in the world. We strive to provide resources to underrepresented low-income students across the nation. Here you can see the demographics of one of our recent cohorts. These scholars represent each region of the country, with several coming from suburban communities and a wide array of backgrounds and cultures. 71% were first-generation students, and the median household income for our scholars is a little over half the national average. You can learn more about our scholars on our website, where you can also read their inspiring biographies. 40 students from across the nation are selected annually as winners of the Hamilton Award. and join a cohort of their peers as Hamilton Scholars. Through the course of the 5-year empowerment program, scholars receive mentorship, practical guidance, and a comprehensive network of support, much like Hamilton did. Once these students are chosen, they are enrolled in a 5-year empowerment program, receive a $500 cash award at the beginning and the end of the program, receive a laptop before entering college, are invited at no cost to attend leadership conferences in varying cities across the country, receive college application, as well as scholarship and financial aid guidance, individual and group support, and professional mentorship matches and networking opportunities. In addition, all winners will have access to AHS internship programs and will join a distinguished cohort of peers from across the US. This unique scholar community extends back through 15 years of cohorts and supports one another as they take steps together towards achieving a college education and a meaningful career, eventually becoming leaders who change their own communities, our nation, and our world through their service, innovation, and excellence. The program consists of individual support through phone calls, video conferencing, correspondence with AHS staff members, and guidance from a peer scholar mentor. Group support and learning is offered through conference calls and leader weeks. All curriculum is designed around our 5 pillars of success: transition, heritage, empowerment, financial literacy, and leadership. Let's now take a closer look at each pillar. When a student graduates from the 5-year empowerment program, we define success as them reaching the following benchmarks in each pillar. Transition, successfully transitioning from high school to college and college to whatever comes next. Heritage, having an increased knowledge of how the true history of the United States connects both with the scholar's individual journey and the collective national experience. The student has shown increased civic engagement and participation in their local community. Empowerment. The student has established and fulfilled goals in each of the 7 areas we focus on in their personal development plan: financial, career, educational, public service, family and friends, personal, and spiritual. The students' goals are also in line with their values and guiding principles. Financial literacy. The student graduates college with manageable debt and a solid understanding of personal budgeting, saving money, and investing in future financial health. And finally, leadership. Inspired by Alexander Hamilton's legacy of leadership through service, the student prioritizes and values their responsibility to use their talents and skills to affect positive change in their communities, the nation, and the world, and have an overall understanding of the importance of social impact and legacy. These pillars are ingrained in everything we do, from conference calls to assignments to our annual in-person conferences. Each year, the program includes an all-expenses-paid leadership conference hosted in various cities across the country. When a scholar enters our program, they connect with us in New York City, the summer before senior year of high school, to learn about college readiness. We talk with college and financial aid counselors about writing an essay, filling out a FAFSA, SAT and ACT prep, and how to make a college list. The summer between high school graduation and their first year of college, the scholars come here to Seattle, where our main office is located. to discuss the college transition. We focus on social, emotional aspects of the transition so they know what to expect. Between their first and second year in college, the scholar travels to Puerto Rico to discuss how their first year went and learn about cultural humility, global citizenship, and leadership through service. During the fall of their junior year, they then go to Dallas to begin thinking about what might come next, whether it be graduate school, a gap year to engage in service, or transitioning into their career with their degree. The last year of the program is then dedicated to providing support during that transition process. We will hear more about the Leader Weeks from Diya and Paul in a moment, but each is specifically designed for key transition points in the scholar's life. These conferences seek to provide the opportunity for the scholar community to come together and learn, grow, and support one another. Now we can get to the best part of today's session, hearing from our scholars themselves. We are now going to transition to automatic captioning. Diya, you won the Hamilton Award last year and joined your cohort at New York Leader Week in July. Can you tell us a little about that experience, how it was connecting with your fellow Hammies and AHS staff, and what did you learn?
Oh my gosh, it was such an amazing experience. When I tell you, it's a little intimidating to go on a trip with people you've never met in person and from all over the country in different backgrounds. It can be very scary at first, not knowing what to expect, how you'll be able to connect with people. But from the second I stepped off the plane into New York, we all connected right away, playing games at the airport while waiting to go and meet the rest of our cohort. It was just such an amazing experience because everyone's from different backgrounds and has unique things about them, but we're all connecting over this shared experience of having to go through the daunting college application process. And then the support from the Hamilton Scholar staff was just amazing. I think one of my favorite activities definitely that we did was getting to arrange the most important parts of the application process to not as important from what we thought. And then Ms. Linnell and Mr. Kelly kind of explained to us what it actually was. And it was so cool to see our perspective versus what it really is. And I think that week just helped us bond so much. I was just actually on a call with one of my fellow cohort members, and we call each other every week at least once to keep each other in check through this process. So it's just been amazing to have that support and that system there in place.
Oh, thank you, Diya. And now Paul will be answering the question, how has AHS helped you through the college application and financial aid process?
Hey everyone, my name is Paul Quach. I am a 2021 Hammy and the 2022 marketing intern for Alexander Hamilton Scholars. And I was asked by Mikala to record a little video for the counselor webinar because I unfortunately can't join because of finals, but I'm great to be here and just give a little response to the first question. So the first question asked was, how has AHS helped you through the college application and financial aid process? And for me, the Alexander Hamilton Scholars program has helped me a lot through the college process. Not only did I find confidence in being able to believe that college was where I was meant to be, but choosing which college was my best fit and identifying areas in which what I valued in a college and actually put into perspective of me choosing a college rather than the college choosing me. And that really helped me with my mindset and approaching the process as a whole. We got a lot of support with our college essay writing and things like that. And I've definitely benefit a lot from scholarship, just looking for scholarships and applying for scholarships as well through Linnell and other members of the AHS team. And with the financial process, I knew nothing about it. I was very scared of that aspect of the college application process because coming from an FGLI background, that's one of the bigger factors of consideration of choosing what college I was going to, and to know that I had support in any decision I make, or support to help me find that funding was very crucial and important to me. And through AHS, I was able to be awarded the Gates Scholarship, get a full ride to Wesleyan University, and now I'm a full ride student. I'm actually even worked with Linnell so that I can get even money back as a refund and things like that. And it's been so incredible because I don't think I would have been here without the support of AHS through the entire process. And it's not even just through the application process, it's continual, and I continue to seek support whenever I need it. And it's just really awesome to have this community who believes in you and is going to help you every step of the way. And you have to advocate for yourself, and they advocate for you as well. And it's just this continual and cycle of empowerment and like really making this college process your own. And I really appreciate that a lot, because it really changed my whole perspective on what applying to college looked like and what college actually looked like for a student like me. So yeah.
Next, we asked Paul, why would you tell other students to apply for the 2023 Hamilton Award? And do you have any tips as they work on their application?
All right, so the next question I have is, why would you tell other students to apply to the 2023 Hamilton Award? And do you have any tips as they work on their application? So firstly, I would definitely say that all the high school juniors should apply if they qualify for the Hamilton Award. It was an incredible experience, and it's a program like no other. And I think it's very important that there's a community that these individuals from underserved, underprivileged communities can be a part of and truly expand and reach their goals. It's not all about college access, though that is a huge element of this program. It's about being supported through every single step of the process. It's having a community. We call it a family, the Ham Fam, and being uplifted each and every day, no matter what you do. And it's really important because there's no judgment. Everyone has a different path, and I feel so supported in any decision I make and no matter what I do. And it's very important that all the juniors out there really know about this program, and you continue to spread the word about this program, because we are helping change makers. These are leaders, scholars who are ready to take on the big challenges of the world, and we want to support that. And I think for myself, this program has really changed a lot of things for me, and I wouldn't even be in this position, having my story heard, having my voice heard, if these individuals didn't pick me out and I was a part of this program. And I speak that truly from the bottom of my heart. And a general tips for applying and completing the application for all the juniors out there, it's truly get started. I had a huge mental block coming into the application process because I didn't feel like I was good enough, or that I was going to ever be able to convey the impact or the things I've done in my community, or I was feeling a lot of imposter syndrome already, being compared to other students who have different resources than I do. But truly understand your own situation and the impact that you've made in your community, and let that shine through your application. It's not about all the high academic words, the best grammar, things like that, or the exhausted extracurriculars list. It's from what's inside, what you're passionate about, what you have to tell, and what change you're trying to make. And as cheesy and cliche as it sounds, it's just generally be yourself and show that you are confident in the things you've done and confident in who you are. Because how can the judges believe that you are confident and you are ready to shine if you don't believe it for yourself? And another huge tip for me when I was applying for the Hamilton Award is just, it's okay to be a little different. It's okay that you have a unique story, that you want to take a different approach to the application. It's fine. But at the end of the day, you're writing for yourself, and stay true to that. You're not trying to impress no one. You're trying to just do it for yourself. And I think that's huge. Because at the end of the day, this is you and your own process, whether that's to college, higher education, or a career path. Everyone looks different and everyone's plans are different, but how you convey that message and what you're trying to tell the award judges is very important. I would just say, just get started on your application. Always have a big smile and get it through. And it'll be difficult because you're gonna pour so much of yourself and your heart out into it, but they will see that shine through. And for me, if you make it to the next round of the interviews, continue that same mindset of I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna show them my passions, my heart, and if all else fails, continue to push yourself forward and know that there are many other opportunities out there as well. But don't let anything, your fears or your anxieties stop you from applying, because you never know until you try. And that's the message I've been pushing and I've told myself since day one of applying for the Hamilton Award. And this is where I am now. So good luck to all the applicants out there. And for all the counselors, please let all your high school juniors know, because this is a once-in-a-life opportunity. And if you're not doing it for them, do it for the future generations and the future of our society and our world. So thank you for listening, and good luck on your applications, everyone.
Oh, we love our Ham fam. Okay, Diya, what has it meant for you to be a Hamilton Scholar?
I don't know if there's a way for me to describe the amount of support that you get being a part of the Hamilton Scholars Program, the Ham Fam. I mean, when I read about the program and applied at first, I didn't really know how much support we're getting with 40 kids. It's so hard to be able to, I think, manage all that, but they're really there for you every step of the way, not only your cohort members, your fellow members, but also the staff. I mean, I kept sending Miss Linnell so many drafts of my essays for all the colleges I was applying to. And I was thinking at some point she'd get fed up with the amount of revisions I would be sending, but every single step of the way, every morning I'd wake up and have a notification from her saying it's all edited, let me know what you think, and send me back anything you change. And you have your own personal cheerleader sort of every step of the way. I mean, the amount of times I've texted Miss Cassandra and the rest of the AHS staff of successes and things that might not have gone the exact way I wanted them to, but just looking at the glass half full mentality and them cheering you along the way. And not only with the application process, but things to get you there. I mean, I had been prepping for the SAT for about a year before taking in my junior year, and with the support that I got from the Hamilton Scholars Program, the tutoring I got, I was able to increase my score by 230 points. And that's the highest increase I had over that year of preparing by myself. And it's just so amazing how much it could transform your experience and your chances when you're applying to something. I mean, I didn't think about all the opportunities when it comes to applying to scholarships and colleges, and it just really opened my eyes and seeing that there's so many opportunities and there's so much support to help you to get to where you need to be.
Thank you so much, Diya and Paul. You are a true credit to the AHS Empowerment Program, and we appreciate your time and your efforts today so much. If you've been listening and this program seems like a great fit for you or someone you know, we want to provide some information about what type of students we are looking for. The Hamilton Award recognizes young people for their academic, personal, service, and extracurricular accomplishments. Winners are high-achieving, service-focused high school juniors with grit, perseverance, and demonstrated need. To be eligible, you must currently be a junior in high school. While we do look for students with a GPA of a 3.0 or higher, there is a space on the application to explain why a GPA might be lower than this. And we do look at the application holistically. We recognize that we have all been living in unprecedented times, so we're flexible on this requirement. If selected, you must be ready to participate in all 5 years of the program to the best of your ability and have to be planning to attend college and complete a 4-year college degree within the United States. You must participate in the New York Leader Week during July of 2023, and this will take place in New York City as long as it's safe to travel. Since we are looking for students with demonstrated need, we usually require that your household adjusted gross income be less than $100,000 a year. However, there is also a space on the application to explain if you have extenuating financial obligations that we will take into account. Finally, you must be high achieving, service focused, and possess that grit and perseverance. If this sounds like you, and you're ready to apply, you can access the application through our website at hamiltonscholars.org/apply. This is where you can also find more information about eligibility, view biographies of current Hammies, and find answers to commonly asked questions. If you're a parent or a high school counselor joining this call, you can learn more about how we prioritize safety, our curriculum, and ideology, and more by visiting our website at hamiltonscholars.org/apply/pound4-parents or hamiltonscholars.org/counsel. If you have questions after this session ends, you can email us at program@hamiltonscholars.org or give us a call at 206-460-0760. I will open it now for questions you currently have for me, our staff, or for Diya.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Cassandra, for leading that awesome webinar. I will be facilitating our live Q&A here towards the end of this webinar. So if you are on our Zoom right now and you would like to type any questions into the Q&A, we'd be happy to answer those. We are also live streaming to Facebook right now. So Yenny, our lovely social media coordinator, is watching all of your questions coming in from that side as well. And we will be feeding those in as we go along. So feel free to type in anything that is on your mind right now, but I will go ahead and get started with the few that we have trickled in so far. So the first question we have is actually for you, Diya, and it is, what was your favorite excursion that you got to go on whenever you were in New York City with Hamilton?
Oh, there were so many great experiences that we went on, but I think one of my favorites was when we went to the One World Observatory. I remember when I was applying initially to be a Hamilton Scholar, seeing on the website the picture of the previous year's cohorts at that same observatory, and then going there with our cohort, taking a picture in the same spot. And it was also a couple days into the trip, so we had all gotten to know each other and had been able to connect with each other. So it was just such an amazing time, and getting to see the beautiful city of New York was just amazing.
Oh my goodness, yes. That is one of my favorites as well. So that's a good choice. We also have a couple questions in here, Cassandra, about the components of the application. Could you talk a little bit about if a student is thinking about applying and want to know what to expect whenever they log onto that portal, what are some of the things that we ask for before their application can be considered completed?
Yeah, that's a great question. So on the when anyone logs into the portal, there will be some basic questions about your demographics, where you're from, high school, GPA, like we mentioned in the webinar, your family's income, and some of those basic questions. But then we also have sections where you can discuss, like we talked about before, because we are looking at the whole student and looking at the application holistically, giving you a chance to really do some short answer explanation of what's important to you, what really makes you who you are, maybe some reasons why your grades aren't as high as you would like them to be, maybe a short answer about the extenuating circumstances. We also give an opportunity, it's optional, an opportunity for you to turn in or have somebody turn in a letter of reference, and a couple optional parts where you can talk more about yourself outside of the other questions that we ask on the application. So you really can be looking for some short answer. You can be looking for some just kind of fill in the blank, just short, quick ones, and then some other ones where you can talk about yourself a little more. And that's really where we get to find out who you are as a person, because it's so important that as we're putting our cohorts together, we have a very diverse group. And so we're really looking at you as a person and what you bring to the program. So this opportunity in our application, I think, is a little different than other places, because we really want to find out who you are and give you a chance to really shine, like Paul said in his video, and talk about some of the other parts of who you are, what makes you special, what makes you unique. And because we really are looking for incredible young people, you don't have to be the most amazing scholar. You don't have to be have, like Paul said, 50,000 extracurricular activities. It's really an opportunity to make you shine and talk about the things you really want to talk about and share with us.
Yes, absolutely. And I would also encourage anybody that is talking about very specific circumstances to their situation. As Cassandra mentioned earlier, we understand that we are all living through very turbulent times right now, and we have been for the last couple of years. So if there's anything about our eligibility or any questions on the application that you're struggling with based on your current situation, that's definitely where we encourage you to email us at that program@hamiltonscholars.org. And Cassandra and I would be happy to walk through your individual situation with you to talk a little bit about how you can approach that application. So next, I'm going to throw it back to you, Diya. We have a couple questions again about students being nervous about this application. So thinking back to whenever you were filling it out, do you have any tips for as they're thinking about going on there, or especially writing those essays that you would like to share with them?
Yeah, I think one thing that's definitely important, like Paul had said earlier, is to embrace your uniqueness. Something that may be normal to you that you've done your whole life might be something completely different from someone else to read and hear about. So it's just really important to share everything about yourself, things you're passionate about and you love. And I think it's also really important to talk about what you're passionate about and what you want to do with your life. I remember for me, I've always loved education and something so important to me. And that's also something that the AHS program stands for, kind of is a program for people who want to pursue an education and do something with that. So I remember talking about why it was important to me, the story behind it, and then what I want to do with my education, and just find what you really love, what drives you and what wakes you up every morning that you just kind of love to do, and talk about that, because what you love and what you're passionate about will really show through in the writing that you do.
I also want to say that is a really important part. I love that you said that, Diya, because as we work through the process of working with you as a scholar, our goal is to get you into the right fit college. And as much as we can possibly know about you and what does drive you to wake up every morning, that really helps us with that placement as well.
And I will say, for those of you who are curious, there is a written and verbal component to our judging process. So your first step is getting that written application submitted to our portal by the end of January. That is our deadline every single year, that very last Wednesday of January. But then as we go through the rounds of judging, we have such amazing volunteers that come together with our community to cull it down from the hundreds and hundreds of applications we get in to that top 60. And from that top 60, we will invite students in to do phone interviews with other great volunteers and staff here at Hamilton. And that's a chance for you to expand on some of these pieces of yourself more. So if you're looking at our application and you are not finding spaces where you can fully talk about everything you would like to share about who you are as a holistic person, you will definitely have time in that phone conversation with us to expand on that before we make final decisions to bring in our top 40 for the new cohort. And another question we have in, Cassandra, I will throw this one to you, is what are some of the places that our students go after they graduate from our program and become alumni? So maybe if you want to talk a little bit about what their paths are after they finish undergrad, or where some of our most recent students have been ending up lately.
Oh, wow, that's so hard because our scholars are everywhere. So after we mentioned a little bit about that trip to Dallas. And so after our scholars graduate, they find that they have so many opportunities. A big part of what we try to give them is networking to fellowships and internships. And so, and those are global. We had students in Ireland and Europe, all different kinds of places. Just last year, it's been fun to hear about where their internships or fellowships were and then bring that back. So we had a student recently come back from Jordan. And so our scholars are kind of all over the place. So we really encourage and really talk a lot about, once you have that degree, what's the best place for you? Is it best for you to just use that degree right now and go out and get some experience and then think later down the road, maybe about an MBA or a master's or a doctorate, whatever that might be for you, continuing ed? Is it best for you to go out there and maybe you want to do some service work? We have scholars that do that. We also have scholars who want to go right into advanced education, and that is we try to support that track as well. So once our scholars graduate, it's a little bit scary, and so we really try to to really think about and discuss those opportunities that are ahead. And for some, they want to just take a gap year. Maybe that gap year means that they just need a break. College is intense. You've been through a lot. Maybe you've been away from home. You want to go back home for a little bit. Of course, we encourage you not to just take a gap year of doing nothing and laying on the couch, but actually like putting some work into making your application when you finally do go out into the work world look that much better, and you have experience maybe outside of what you were able to do in college. So our tracks that we really talk about are you going to go to straight to your career? Are you going to take some time and take a gap year? Or are you going to go and get that advanced degree right away? And what does it look like to fund all of those different options? So from there, our scholars are all over the world doing incredible jobs, working for all kinds of corporations, or doing everything from nonprofit work to starting their own companies and nonprofits. It's really been exciting. I just think that the component of really having a cohort that is across the country gives all of our scholars the opportunity to really understand that those opportunities are outside of their typical bubble or where they're from. And so they've been talking, like Diya said, to their cohort members, maybe in another state or who moved to another country. And then that opens their own horizons for what's possible for them. So they're out there traveling, they're out there changing the world, they're out there. We have one of our alumni is out there in Miami-Dade changing school board there and just participating in all different kinds of opportunities. So I would encourage you to go on our Instagram pages or our Facebook, and that really gives you an idea and a sense of where our Hamilton scholars go after they graduate. And they're doing some really incredible work that really are making this world a better place. So we're encouraged every day that we hear about where they are, what they're doing.
Yes, our Hammies are truly incredible. And I will also add to that answer from Cassandra, some of our Hammies are coming back and giving back to our community. So those volunteers that I mentioned whenever we do judging, so many of those volunteers are our alumni students who know a little bit about what it means to be a part of this Ham Fam, who come back in to choose our future cohorts. We have alumni coming into all of our leader weeks who work with students, provide mentorship, provide resources that they've found along the way. And as of January next year, almost half of our team will be made of alumni students, me included. I am from the 2015 cohort. So we are all absolutely staying plugged into this community and giving back to those cohorts that are coming in after us as well. So here at the end, I have about 2 more questions queued up unless anything rolls in here towards the end. So if you're out there listening and you have a burning question that we have not gotten to yet, feel free to either put that as a Facebook comment or enter it into our Q&A on Zoom by just hitting that Q&A button at the bottom of your toolbar. But one question is a little bit about where you can access more information about this award or how you're getting this award to students. So I'm assuming this is from a high school counselor. So again, if you go to that link that is on your page right now, hamiltonscholars.org/counselor, there are many resources there for you to be able to share out, including a flyer that you are welcome to print out and post in your school. There's more literature there if you're wanting to share more about our program with students. And again, that's also the webpage we will be linking this webinar to with the live transcript so that you can have the recording, you can share that with your high schools. We are looking to do more engagement in future years in your high schools. So if you ever want to receive more information from us or have us come into your schools and talk a little bit one-on-one with your students, we'd be happy to do so. Just shoot us an email and we will work that out with you. We also have so many students across the country that are eager to talk about how they received the Hamilton Award and how they found out about us. So we would be happy to connect you with some that might be in your area versus out here in Seattle along with our office. But with that being said, Diya, I'd be interested to hear a little bit about how you found out about the Hamilton Award and kind of what pushed you to apply after you were reading through it.
Yeah, so mine is kind of an odd way that I find out about scholarships, and I don't know if it's something that I just do or maybe others do, but I look at people's LinkedIn pages of people that work at companies I want to work at or colleges that I want to go to and kind of just scroll down and see what they've done. And so when I was looking at one for a student, I think that I was looking at that goes to Stanford University, I saw Alexander Hamilton Scholars Program and I was so intrigued. I'd never heard about it. So I clicked on it and I found out about the program and I thought it was so cool, a program that's because a lot of programs that you think about, counseling especially, support you for 1 year, and that's that senior year to get you into college. But I found this so amazing that it helps you with all throughout college, that transition from high school to college and then college to the real world. It's just such an amazing opportunity. So that's why I was very intrigued by this opportunity and applied. But that's also another good tip if you want to find out about other scholarship programs, kind of look through people's LinkedIn pages and see what you find.
That, Dia, is a perfect example of what we talked about earlier about grit and perseverance. Our Hammies are resourceful. They're out there doing the work and they're finding us. And it's been amazing to find out about how some of you have found us. And that is, I actually didn't know that story, Dia. So I am so, that's amazing. And I'm going to tell my own daughter to go do that. That's fantastic. We're so glad you did find us. Who was that person? Do you know? Do you know who that was that you saw?
No, I'll check back in my history and see who it is.
We need to let them know that because of them, we have you as a Hamilton Scholar, and that's amazing. We're super lucky you clicked on that person that day.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad to be a part of this amazing family.
We have so much love for you, Dia. So unless anything else comes through here at the end, we will cap it with this one final question. It's actually about internships. So Cassandra, you had mentioned earlier in the presentation that whenever students come into our 5-year empowerment program, they also get access to exclusive internship opportunities, either paired with Hamilton or through the independent internship program. So would you like to talk a little bit about who our current partners are, what that process kind of looks like, and then what that independent internship support program is?
Yes, so we have wonderful resources that we didn't really mention earlier. We do that a little bit in our outreach, and you can also see that on our website. But one of our goals is to make sure that our scholars have as many internship possibilities as we can find for them. And so we've partnered with some companies, and they have specific internship slots just for our scholars. So we have a few like Mattel, she's the first. We have one with the National History Museum in New York. And those spots are just help for our Hamilton scholars. So when our Hamilton scholars get to that point, we let them know about those internships, and then they can do those. Over the last few years, it's been able to be done in person or virtually because of what's been happening in our world. And so those are paid internships. We also have emergency funds or funding, sorry, not emergency funds, but funding for scholars who get internships outside of our set internships. And perhaps those internships do not come with funding. We try to provide a source of funding so that they can go ahead and take those internships and get that experience, and make sure that they also are getting paid for that at the same time. And those scholars go through a process with us where we are checking in with them and seeing how their internships are going and following through the internship process to make sure they're getting everything they really can out of it. And that group, like I said, we find out about internships they're doing all over the world, and it's just an incredible process, and they learn from each other. And so there are set internships, and then there are internships that we help provide funding for, and then support our scholars with that financially. One thing that we didn't really highlight on this webinar that I want to make sure that we do is that, as I mentioned before, you just have to be attending a college within the United States. You don't have to be a citizen of the United States. You have to live in the United States, but it's very important that you understand that many of our scholars come from very different circumstances, and you do not have to have documentation to be able to be part of our program. We're a very close-knit community. Everything is held very confidentially. We do not share documentation status. We do not give that information to anybody. It's just so that we can best help our students get partnerships with universities that support undocumented students. And then also, because of that, we want to make sure that those students who may not have Social Security numbers are able to get fellowships. And so we have some fellowship or do some fellowship work with scholars who may not be able to get a funded internship as well. Mikala, was there anything else I missed that you'd like to add to that?
No, that was fantastic and actually fed into this last question that we got brought in. I will also add, as Cassandra was talking about our internship funding, We do have an emergency fund that we offer all of our active students, and that is for anything that they might be going through. I know that we have received some feedback along the last couple of years that students are nervous to apply because of what has been happening in our country and the world right now in response to COVID-19, deciding whether they were going to go straight to college or what these trips would look like. So I also just wanted to put out here right now that we did return to in-person Leader Weeks this year, which is why we were able to see Diya in New York and Paul in Seattle, and that was an absolutely amazing experience. And we do have very sincere safety protocols around that in-person travel. So you can read a little bit more about that on our website. But some of the things that we were doing this year was requiring masks, requiring vaccinations to travel with us in person. And we have very strict protocols around if anybody is symptomatic, if anybody is exposed, notifying our community and taking care of one another. So we are keeping a pulse on that as we go into the next year and figuring out how that might affect travel next year. But we also follow a lot of safety protocols for what we call our undocu-hammies, who are our students who are working towards citizenship, who might not necessarily have that paperwork at the moment. And so we do a lot to make sure that they are able to safely travel with us wherever we go, and figure out how to work one-on-one with them. So Cassandra, the last question I will ask you here as we close out is, do you want to talk a little bit more about that emergency fund program and how it's been used over the last couple of years in response to COVID-19, or how it might be used in the future? And then also how we get our undocu-hammies to Leader Weeks with us.
Yeah, if I missed part of that question, just remind me, Mikala. So yeah, we have, as part of our program that we find very important is being able to offer our students emergency funding. So if that has to do with anything having to do with food insecurity or housing insecurity or anything that might come up academically, we've had students, our scholars, we call them our scholars who come to us and say like, hey, this housing bill came up and I don't have the total funding for it. Is it possible you can help me out until I get that funding? And then, you know, we do everything we can, of course. Or scholars might have something happening with their family and maybe they don't have the money they thought was going to come in from their family to help them with food or things like that. And so we make sure that our scholars have what they need and we're able to give them that emergency funding. So our scholars fill out a form, they let us know. It's as simple as that. And we don't ask for, you know, all the details. We just want to make sure that first and foremost, always that our scholars are healthy and that their mental health is taken care of. So we always want to make sure first, if they're asking for any funding, that they're okay. And then they fill out a form and we go to our emergency funding and do everything we can to be able to provide that if possible. We also have scholars who maybe are going, like Mikala said, through the process of getting their citizenship and might need some emergency funding to take care of some of that. Those financial costs as well. And we want to make sure that they're able to do that. So like I said before, housing insecurity, food insecurity, books, or anything with education. I know we've had hammies that they're from maybe Florida and they end up somewhere super cold and they don't have the proper coat or something. We want to make sure that they have that as well. So we really try in every aspect to make sure that we're providing for our hammies what they need. If we don't, we are also fantastic at reaching out to our networks, where we are reaching out to alumni hammies. If something happens with a hammy's housing or something, we'll reach out in our networks and say, can you house this hammy? Something's fallen through. If we are a very resourceful team, just like Diya is a very resourceful student, we are a very resourceful staff. And if we don't have it, we will try to find somebody who does. But that's the basis of what our emergency funding was. And then Mick, can you tell me what that second question was again?
Yes, absolutely. What are some of the accommodations that we make for our undocu-hammies whenever they are traveling to Leader Weeks with us?
Thank you. So one of the first things that I want to mention is that we want all of our hammies to be with us if possible. So we're very, I think, very accommodating with any needs that come out. But for our undocu-hammies, the first thing that we've done is to make all of our trips US. So Puerto Rico counts for us because it is a US territory. So as long as our Hammies are under 18, they're able to travel with student IDs. Other Hammies that may not be able to travel by plane, we try to have, in the past, we've had scholars who travel by bus or travel by train. However we can get them, we want to get you there to be with us in person and with your cohort. That's so important. So, and then we will also work with you to make sure that as soon as you come into our program, we are working towards getting you your citizenship, because we know that it's going to impact all of the things that our undocumented Hammies are able to do throughout the course of their experience in college and travel. And we want to make sure that in the future, our Hammies are able to travel anywhere and participate in anything that they might want in the future. So as a program, first staying in the US, and then providing transportation after 18, that they don't have to provide that, a passport or ID, government issued ID. So trains, planes, automobiles, however we can get you, we are going to try and get you to us in our leader weeks.
Beautiful. Thank you for talking through that with us, Cassandra. All right, well, that is going to conclude our live webinar, but if your question did not get answered by us, please feel free to reach out to our staff. You can always email us at program@hamiltonscholars.org, and we would love to have a conversation with you about anything else that is on your mind. But as we close out here, Diya, would you like to share any closing words with those who might be listening?
Yeah, I would just like to say first, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak here with you today. And I would just say, just apply, spread this program to anyone you know who may be eligible or interested. I mean, I've been spreading it to my school. I wore the backpack we got from our leader week a lot this year, and people would ask me about the program, and it was just a great way to get people to know what it is and this amazing opportunity. And like I was saying earlier, the connections you form are amazing, not only with the AHS staff, but also I feel like I know at least one person in almost every state and would be able to connect with someone anywhere I go now. And it's just really an amazing opportunity that has provided me with such an amazing experience through this college application process. And so, yeah, it's just an amazing thing that you should try for, and you never know what would happen. I mean, I remember getting the call from Miss Mikala that I was awarded the scholarship program when I was at dinner with my family. We're at Olive Garden, and I saw a call from Seattle. I was like, I have no idea who's calling me from Seattle. And then I picked it up, and it was the best news ever. So it was just an amazing thing, and it really does transform your life.
Aw, Diya.
That is so cute. I remember that call very well. That is one of the best parts of our jobs, is being able to spread the good news and welcome our new cohorts in. So I'm so glad that I got to share that moment with you.
Me as well. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. And Cassandra, is there any closing thoughts that you would like to share with the audience?
Yes, I think my main closing thought is just that I know that there are a lot of different programs and opportunities for scholars and for all of you out there. But what really sets this program apart and why we're so passionate about you applying is not because we feel like this is a job that we have to do, or that is it's really a passion for all of us. We love getting to talk with our Hammies. We love getting to talk with our scholars. We love getting to talk to our alumni. Everyone that works on the staff really loves their job and is just so dedicated to making sure that our Hammies have everything they need and the support that they need. And I have never worked anywhere, honestly, where I feel like that people really love their job more. And it's been a blessing to work here. It's been an incredible opportunity to meet all of these Hammies. It's inspiring every day. And so I would just tell you that if you're questioning whether or not this program or another scholarship, this is more than just a scholarship opportunity. This is really a family where we try to just support each other and love each other through the good and the bad, and encourage where we can. And it's really more than a job for most of us. We really want to make sure that you or your scholars your students get into college and that they're successful when they're there is not just a job to us. It means so much to us personally. And we will do everything we can to work for you. And that's just something that we don't just do as a job, but we love it. And so I think this is the best program anywhere. And I think the support we provide is just something unprecedented. So I would encourage you to apply and to get your students to apply, because it's not just about money. Getting through college is about having a network of people who want to support you and who want to make sure that you are successful and that you are creating a network so that you can be successful after college. So if you don't apply just so you can talk to all of us cool staff here, you know, then do it, because it really means that you will have the support you need to get through college, and so will your students if you're a counselor or a parent. Thanks, Mick.
Yes, absolutely. That was a beautiful answer. And I truly believe we have an amazing community here. So we are excited to hopefully see your applications come through, your questions come through. We are more than happy to be here for any step that you might need moving forward. Again, you're always welcome to email us, call us, or check in any other way that is accessible for you. Moving forward, make sure that you follow us on social media at Hamilton Scholars. We are on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, you name it, we are probably there. We have a great communications team. But in the meantime, we are sending you all strength, light, and warmth. And we hope that you have a great end of the year and a great new year as we all move forward together. Take care.
Thank you.